Hi. Good morning. So it's actually 2:38 right now in the morning, and I woke up from a dream I had. And in my dream, let me try to remember. I don't remember. I remembered it vaguely, and then I went for a walk with Ringo, and I don't remember. But I had pulled some cards from the archetypes deck last night before I went to sleep, and I got the Tear, the Shaman, and the Fault Line, which I went to write stuff down and I got tired, so I went to sleep instead. And then I just pulled Chaos and the Raven's Head. So I wanted to read these things. Also, I think it's a full moon tonight. In Capricorn, maybe? I would have to look it up, but I think that is, because I think we just had a full moon in Sag 2 weeks ago. Anyway. So the Tear is about mourning, release, letting go, humanity, humility. The Shaman is about the magi, sorcerer, the medicine woman, fearless student and practitioner. The three parts are the mentor, the healer, and the psychic, able to see the unseen. And the Fault Line is about the fisher, the crack, the weak link. It says, imagine walking across a frozen lake that begins to crack before your eyes. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You become fearful and tense and long for stable ground. Such is the energy of the Fault Line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break open into chaos. It's likely this cracking open is overdue, as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlining elemental pressures. This card comes as a potent warning not to delay the shakiness afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. There's no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. Redefining reality and breaking open. In Japanese, kintsugi, I think that's how you say it, kintsugi. Pottery, gold is used to mend cracks. Breaks are thought of as precious, rather than something to be hidden. It is possible that something a loved one said caused a crack in your relationship that has never been mended. Revisit it. It is time to heal. or the time to heal is nigh. So and then so there may be something that needs to be mended between you and someone else in a relationship. Oh wait, I almost had it. Okay. So chaos, disoriented, spinning, groundless. When an alchemist sits in their laboratory amidst the presence of chaos, something miraculous is bound to occur. That's because this state is so powerful and all-encompassing that it typically overwhelms the student to the point of despair. Such is the nature of chaos. It is the grand trickster, the topsy-turvy confusion that turns life on its head and spins a web not even the wisest mystic can untangle. Baffling, yes. Disorienting, yes. But the seasoned alchemist recognizes that recognizes it as the most potent point in the alchemical experiment. Wait, observe, do nothing. It is destiny itself that spins the web. Clarity will emerge one strand at a time. Your only task is to breathe. Do not struggle. The three fates hold you in their sights as you free fall toward freedom. Looking through the eye of the storm. Think of this card as a sister to the void card. They are different expressions of the same life-changing energy. The void is absence, the chaos is overwhelming presence. Piling existential questions on top of chaos will not help your alchemical pursuits. Rather, turn to practices that clear and make space. Meditation is the remedy. Yeah, so you could be making space for this new year. So, I don't know, something about making space and then wait and observe. Do nothing, ground yourself maybe. And it also says Dazed and Confused is the film to watch. Go deeper. I remember that movie. That used to be one of my favorites. And then the Raven's Head, initiation, the ordeal, the work begins. Though alchemy is filled with a myriad of open-ended symbols, the Raven's Head has a precise message. It arrives to mark the beginning of the work. This card indicates something has occurred, known or unknown, to initiate the spinning of the alchemical wheel. With its mighty churning, things are about to change on every level. The Raven's work cannot be undone, just as the pill cannot be unswallowed or the pearl turned back to sand. You may be overwhelmed or thinking the journey ahead is not for you. Your doubts matter not to the Raven, as its appearance signifies it has chosen you. You are ready and the moment is now. Can you go back to the way things were? Can you pretend nothing has changed? The raven caused a clear no. It does not apologize, as it knows your destiny is great. The raven, with its trickster spirit, has many symbolic interpretations. It is also linked to the Hierophant card in the tarot, so be on the lookout for a new teacher or mentor. As you step into the work, travel light. There's no need for additional baggage, literally or metaphorically. Everything you need awaits within the alchemical laboratory. So, and we also got the shaman. It's here. So there's something being released here with the tear. Or maybe you're just tapping through and flowing through instead of, fighting with the chaos card. Maybe, the fault line could be like a breaking away. Let's pull a spread here. Let's see which deck. And it's like 2 a.m. and I'm awake doing a tarot reading. So bear with me if it's not. All my what are they called? Cylinders aren't firing. Let me see. I wanted to write. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, I just wanted to write some things about the fault line because I didn't do that earlier. So, and then let me get the book for chaos. Now in the fault line it says preparation for change, foundational shift, but it also says sensing chaos. Chaos. The raven's head. Did I split it? Eight of Cups. Nine of Swords. Queen of Wands. Five of Cups. And the Chariot. Okay. So there's something about leaving stress behind, stress and sorrow. Maybe, okay, you're taking command in the situation by walking away from something, maybe the fault line energy, the sadness of letting that go, the mourning, and then the shaman. The shaman is about like the medicine woman, fearless student and practitioner. Again with the mentor energy, the raven's head. Yeah, so it's something about being the flame, being the one to kind of move forward and balancing out the energy. With the pearl, right? Pearl of wisdom or whatever. How are we showing up? The sun. I think that's the sun. Yeah, it's the sun and the chariot. Hierophant. And the Knight of Cups. The Death card. All these major arcanas here. But we're showing up as the sun and death. The chariot. The mentor. I mean, there's a huge transformation here. Huge transformation. And it's being shown. The Seven of Cups behind the Death card. That speaks to the illusion being illuminated. Knight of Pentacles. Like a steady, like Jupiter. I mean the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So this is kind of putting it into perspective. So it's like you walk away from this faulty foundation. This could be either now or like in the past, right? I think now, okay, you've let go of the situation with the tear. And this tear reminds me of, what's that card? It's in this deck. Bear with me one moment. Let me just find. Because I don't remember what the card was. Ace of Pentacles, New Beginnings. Doesn't this look like this eye? Kind of. Yeah, the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, and then we saw something about making space for the new. That's letting go of the fault line. Because you learned everything that you needed to know to illuminate something about yourself so that you can be this mentor. Or that, like, because the shaman is the student the mentor first, right? They study and then heal and then become like the psychic, or they have all those 3 traits about themselves. So that could be why you're showing up as a sun. Maybe that's your north node. It has something to do with that. Like mine is Cancer in the 9th house, which is like the definitely the Chariot energy. But it's also like the mentor. So something about that. You could have 9th house placements. You could have placements in Sag. You could have a Jupiter in Sag, or the 9th house, or the North Node, somewhere, Knight of Pentacles is what's showing up. So there's some sort of... We've been getting the 4 of Cups a lot lately. It's a reevaluation, but it's also like rejecting things, like letting things go, dissatisfaction. Yesterday, I know I think I posted a video that was something about we let go of things that are not satisfying, and that's not always the case, but I don't know. I've learned that we have to kind of weigh the options in a way, whereas before we used to be this Knight of Pentacles where we kind of stood our ground and was loyal even when we shouldn't be. I learned major lessons about that within the past couple years with my ex-husband, where like he lost his job. I let him come stay with me, and like that was a big mistake, because I think it created an opening. It was like welcoming in the demon. I'm not saying he's a demon, but I'm saying that like people have attachments and they have karma and they have things that they have to deal with on their own. And I allowed that to come in. It kind of became my karma too, and I allowed it. So there's something about that. And then while he was here, like the whole time, it was like I was on the eggshells, and it's in my own house, and like he was kind of weird about like food, and like I have a special diet, I have to eat like a certain way, and it was just not it was not comfortable. And it was like there was a lot of things that happened I don't really want to go into on here, but it was not good at all. So there was a reevaluation needed. Like I needed to not be like in this picture. She's so graceful, right? Like it's like, okay, we've learned the lessons here. The books and back. Like I can be this graceful person, but with firm boundaries. Like it's a balance of that. 7 of Wands, Temperance. Yeah. So, Knight of Swords. Yeah, I had to kick him out. Yeah, so there's something about that, walking away from things like that. Okay, what do I need to expand on? 10 of Wands. Some burden. What are we burdened by? It's like looking in the mirror to see what burdens us. Like looking... Because when we look in the mirror, we're evaluating how we look. Right? How our reflection. Knight of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, King of Cups. So, emotional mastery, choices, decisions. Sometimes you have to be cutthroat. Sometimes you have to be kind of firm in your, in knowing who you are and how you are and what you will and won't tolerate because of your value, like how what you bring to the table in situations. If something just brings chaos, and I'm seeing these 3 people here. You have to kind of understand it's time to let go. And cut off the burdens, right? Okay, clarify what is the actions to take. Ten of Swords. Sometimes you have to be the betrayer and cut off from whatever it is. Page of Wands, Ace of Swords, Emperor, 5 of Wands. Like, this person only brought chaos for me. So, and part of the reason I did it was so that he could reacclimate with, his kid, like there's been many years that he wasn't there. So I just, like, there's a therapist we were seeing and stuff like that. And I just felt like it was maybe time to do that because it was like kind of suggested by the therapist, but I should have kept my boundaries. That's kind of what I learned from that, because it wasn't worth it. I was doing just fine by myself. Okay, so the 5 of Wands, maybe it's like a building up, maybe. Oh, okay, this is so the red, some people use children as like a way to keep you tied to them. Some people, cause chaos in hopes that kind of, you lose everything on account of like them. And it's like the way that he acted was like exactly like that. Like he wanted to tear down instead of build up. And it was kind of obvious, but at the same time it wasn't so easy to kind of get him out once he was in. So I know I messed up. I know I messed up and have regrets about it. For sure. Maybe that's the tear. But see, okay, so there's also, with the Ace of Pentacles, looking like the tear, the eye right here, what I showed earlier, it's like, I was hoping that, you know, my son would be able to kind of reacclimate, right? That we could all be, you know, co-parents and friends and whatever, even though he's never actually been good at that. Like, I should have known, but I was kind of in a tight spot where I was having health issues, and so I thought that maybe, you know, he would help out. No. No. But I learned the truth of it. So sometimes we have to kind of go through that. Oh, and look what he's holding. It's like a jester's hat. Maybe you're learning that it was only gestures that this person offered. It wasn't genuine. There's a difference between gestures and like actual doing. Like it's as emotion as if, but it's like them doing an as if type. They wear masks. They wear, like, people don't always come up. That's the delusion, the pretending. The fault line. Well, I learned the truth of it. What's our resources? Okay, we have a Wheel of Fortune, 3 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Ace of Cups. Cutting off and leaving the friendship behind that, you know, wasn't ever real anyway. Like, there may have been, I don't know, celebrating also the fact that there's a lot of self-love that you learn from it, from the experience, right? You learn from experience. We learn from experiences like that. That it's about self-love. That's just an example, you know, that I'm giving. It kind of relates to, you know, what I was seeing in the fault line and the tear and the shaman. and the chaos in the raven's head. So it's like sometimes people go through things like that just to kind of teach. You know, there's some people you cannot mend things with. It's just impossible because they're trying to sabotage you. You know. So I've felt like I've been kind of climbing out of this hole ever since he left because, so because ever since he left, he hasn't been paying child support, which I was hoping that he would kind of get back on his feet and like pay for things, like normal people do. But he never got on his feet, and so I had to, cut it off. He never, I don't know if he wasn't looking or what, but he said he was looking for a job, but he just never. Anyway, it shouldn't take that long. You should go to the mall, and it's right across the street, pretty much, from my house. Go to the mall, find a job there, like, I don't know. Anyway, you can't control other people. That's why you have to walk away from certain things. So we have the 10 of Cups, clarifying the 8 of Cups, and Judgment. It's about family, walking away from family, discerning the situation. I'm not going to read all of these, but 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles. I was good on my own. I was betrayed, but I kind of expected that would happen. So it's not really a loss for me. It's really a loss for my son, but he understood, I guess, to an extent. So Ace of Cups, clarifying the Sun. Seven of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, Page of Wands, 7 of Swords. A lot of sevens here. Illuminating the self-love. So escaping, 7 of Wands. Having boundaries, 7 of Pentacles. Discernment, right? That's what it says on the card. It says 7 of Pentacles is like protecting your harvest with the 7 of Wands. 7 of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Seven of Swords. So, Page of Wands, maybe, it's a freedom. It's a messenger of I don't know, maybe this person was immature and would fly off at the mouth, that type of thing. I don't know. But it could also be like children or child. Protecting your child. So there's going to be a new beginning in love in some way. That's why it didn't work out. So Knight of Pentacles is clarified by the Moon. And Two of Swords, Nine of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. So this, it's about blocking out. There's moon energy here. Something about something hidden. And slow moving. Hidden darkness of this Knight of Pentacles, maybe. I mean, it could just be me revealing, you know, my shadow parts that I've had to work on through this relationship. Because I'm too quick to forgive someone like him, my child's father, you know, somebody I've had in my life for decades, you know, I think 30 years or so. Something like that. Almost 30 years. There's a lot of history. So I'm too forgiving. And that's a problem. And I realize that that's a problem. But I also realized that the reasons for that problem were based on my security, the foundation that I didn't really have. That's why I quit my job. That's why I do what I do now. And then, you know, I'm slowly trying to get back to where I'm able to be independent in that way. Because, like, what the fuck, man? Like, you can have wishes that, you know, somebody would be able to kind of be what you need from them. But really, you have to rely on yourself. It's not about somebody else changing themselves to fit your needs. Maybe that was a lesson that you learned. It took a while in some way. A lesson of, like, we have to give to ourselves those things that what we need. Clear for the 10 of Pentacles. I mean the 10 of Wands. And it says here on the Moon, it says, God is my strength. I know this is, like, all about me and from what I'm saying, but hopefully you can, like, take a lesson from my chaos. Like, no matter, like, what the relationship is, if it's not measuring up in some way, you have to kind of cut it off and move on. Cut your losses before it tries to ruin you. Because I think if I really looked at the past relationship with him, it's like it was sabotaging my whole life. And it took a while for me to kind of be able to cut it off. 7 of Cups, clarifying the 10 of Wands. Yeah. So that's what we're expanding on. 7 of Cups. Healing the illusion. The burden and the illusion from the burden. Or the burden. How do you... My brain is not braining right now. The heavy burdens from the illusion. So it's like healing that. 9 of Wands. Death. And 5 of Cups. Yeah, it's like wounded warrior energy, but also healing and transformation from, even though like there's like regret there. I honestly, I feel like there's definitely people in the world that have some sort of spiritual, it's for a spiritual lesson that they come into your life, and maybe that's the reason for your faith, and it's like to teach you, like, you have to rely on God, but also there's boundaries that are needed, like severely, in things like that marriage and that relationship. It's the worst relationship I've ever had, but it was the longest aside from family, and it was the most difficult to kind of tear away from. There's a deeper meaning. So there may be like somebody in your life that you've known for a long time. You think that there's a reason that they're in your life, some spiritual reason or whatever. It could be that this person causes a lot of chaos in your life, like drama and chaos in your other relationships, and maybe this could be somebody who never takes the blame, minimizes their mess, their stuff, their shit, their baggage, their also their plans, because like it's subconscious almost for them. It's like they're so selfish in their ways and like getting what they want in things and situations that they sabotage you because of their own selfishness. They may like sabotage like opportunities for you. Like if they see you moving on, they want to kind of come in and make it to where those things don't work out. This could be a person that when they're called out on anything, they deny, but you know that they're just like, their innocent play is just not, it's not real. Clarify 10 of Swords. This is a person that you would have to get away from, that you would have to cut all contact with, that you would have to, it's 10 of Swords, 2 of Cups. You would have to, otherwise they're going to betray you every time. And then act like they didn't do anything. This is a person that would punch you in the stomach and then I expect you to not react. Like, you know what I mean? 10 of Pentacles, High Priestess, the Sun, King of Cups. Okay. So this was a catalyst of major lessons in your life, allowing you to illuminate like what was hidden. You learned so many lessons from this person about emotional stability, that stoicism, and that's kind of, I don't know if you were meant to or what, but like this, I don't know. I believe that everything happens for a reason. There are no coincidences, and the 10 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Sun, and the King of Cups, the 2 of Cups, and the 10 of Swords. And in this is a marriage, like 2 rings, you know. It says provides expansive intelligence and gives the grace of God. Yeah. So I believe that like things happen for a reason, and the reason may not be fully, I mean, I'm not saying like stay with these people that treat you like garbage so that you can become a shaman. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that like there's lessons that are learned from these situations, but don't stick it out just to, because it's going to be a lesson. It's not going to be, there's nothing that's going to come from it other than like you're going to get educated in some way, and you probably can do that without all the pain, you know. Clarify the Wheel of Fortune. King of Pentacles. So, and the Emperor. So this is in our resources. Ooh. The Emperor, the Star, the Hermit, the 6 of Wands. So this is something that was a major lesson. It allowed you to grow like in maturity. It really put you in your power, allowed you to heal. it also caused you to have to heal, you know. There's, you know, and a wisdom from, you know, what you've learned in the situation, and that's kind of what you can take from it, and that's why the Six of Wands is here. Definitely not weak. Not for the weak, you know. But there's a change. It's my number 34. Yeah. So well, I'm not saying that you need to go through trials like this, but celebrate how far you've come in this situation. Maybe you're not illusioned from, you're not like hiding in the illusion of like, oh, we're gonna be, you know, able to, you know, have some sort of friendship, you know. No. My friends don't sabotage me. You know, people who are friends don't sabotage you, or try to. It's also choose you in all scenarios. Anyway, I think it was an initiation as well for something greater, because I have a lot of wisdom from it, even though it was like gained from like the fire. I'm like, is that really wisdom? If I feel so dumb for like allowing it to happen, you know? Is it really wisdom? But sometimes. Anyways, I hope this helps someone. It's difficult when, you know, there's emotional things, I guess, that like you have hope that like somebody's gonna be what they can't be, I guess, and you have to kind of realize that they can't, that they're not who you think, you know. So yeah, that's the Seven of Cups energy. 10 of Wands, drop the burden of like the illusion. Like the illusion is what the burden is clinging to, kind of, in a way, you know. But there's still hope for the future, and, you know, other relationships and, you know, things like that. Anyway, I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.